welcome our first speaker for today, Pippa Bartolotti. Pippa is one of the most active members of GUAN, the Global Women United for Peace Against NATO, and she has worked in the field of human rights and climate change for most of her life, from being an outspoken advocate against violence against women and sex trafficking, riding with Convoy 5 from her home in Wales to Gaza, to experience the reality of the blockade and genocide being perpetrated on Palestinians. She continues her anti-war advocacy with GUAN and with UNAC, which is the United National Anti-War Coalition. And Pippa is also a published author. So welcome, Pippa.
Well, hello, everybody. It's lovely to be here in such wonderful company. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I think Isabella probably knows more about me than I know about myself. So if we could just move to my first slide, that would be a good start. That's great, thank you. Well, there we are. This is part of what we do, going to NATO summits, joining with others in demonstrations, protests, and anti-war, anti-NATO alternative summits. We work hard all through the year, and this I'll tell you about later. Could I see the second slide, please? Well, it had to begin somewhere, didn't it? And this was in Madrid in 2021 at a NATO summit, which a lot of us randomly went to, not planning to know each other or meet each other. But here we are, and we are certainly getting together like-minded people. You can see I'm on the far right, Anne Wright, an ex-US colonel, is next to me. She is a dissenter. Ulla Klotzer, who is a founding member of this organization. Haki, who sadly is no longer with us, wonderful, wonderful person. And Leah, who is a great source of strength to us all by being there and helping. So we are the start of it all. Right, could I have no slides for a moment? Oh no, I need the third slide. I'm sorry, I haven't got my prompt in front of me. Yes. So I think I've got time just read out the beginning of our declaration. So here we go. We are women from across the world who deeply love our planet. We cherish the universal principles of equality, justice, and peace affirmed by the United Nations Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We fight for the affirmation of the rights of women and peoples against all forms of violence, exploitation, and discrimination. For decades, we have been engaged in the search for global peace, for a new world order that abolishes war. We recognize the role that capitalism plays in generating militarism and war. And we want a new, non-militarized security to ensure the life and the health of present and future generations of all on this planet and of the planet itself. Our aspiration for peace is today threatened by the escalating arms race and the risk of nuclear war, the strengthening of military alliances and the militarization of international relations. All this risks leading humanity to catastrophe. NATO's decisions since 1991 have in large part been responsible for this developing global confrontation. Right, no slides for a moment, please, Katie. Well, it had to begin somewhere, didn't it? And the declaration was the first thing. But something else started at the beginning, and since I'm the first speaker, let's start with what got us to where we are today. The traditional myth that early humans operated under a strict division of labor where men hunted and women gathered is completely wrong. In fact, it is a lie. Evidence demonstrates that women frequently and habitually hunted, actively participating in securing game, including big game. We were never the meek and subservient beings the patriarchy wanted us to be. Over 200 million years of biological and social progress, from the dawn of mammalian lactation to tool use and modern society, the female biological form has been a driving force of our species' survival and development. But we have been disenfranchised from the beginning. From the beginning, in fact, of white colonial history at least. Yet, before European colonization, many First Nations and Indigenous peoples across the Americas and elsewhere thrived under matriarchal and matrilineal systems. Far from the patriarchal stereotypes later imposed by colonial rule, women held immense political, spiritual, and economic authority as community builders, clan leaders, strategists, and peacekeepers. Writing women out of history is part of the patriarchal system. Writing women out of the peace process makes it 70%, I'll say that again, 70% more likely to fail. It is we who pick up the pieces after war. We nurse the wounded, the damaged, the children. We produce half the world's food supply. We build families and communities. And after conflict, we rebuild again and again and again. Yet we never wanted the wars, and we never started them. The systems today are not designed for us. The banks, the politics, the military, the institutions, the religions, the laws, the working day even, the education systems, the wage structure, even modern medicine is mostly designed for male bodies. The war machine was never part of our world and never will it be. Women today represent just a meager 16% of negotiators in active peace processes. We are highly effective peacemakers because we excel at bridging grassroots coalitions with political elites, fostering inclusive dialogue across divided groups, and championing policies that address the root causes of conflict. Today, there is an uphill battle to reform our world into something more loving, more beautiful, more peaceful. We are burdened with an enduring struggle against the willful war machine, the profiteers, and the viciousness of the Epstein class. Could I have slide 4 now, please? At Guan, we give women a voice. Through our webinars, we bring unsung experts with knowledge and honesty about the horrors of war and the part NATO plays in destruction and warmongering. We explore alternatives to war. We highlight the insidious role of NATO, the insidious role that NATO plays in militarizing society and femwashing the armed forces. These are some of our most popular webinars, and here you see we talk about resolving conflict. We talk about conflict in far places. We talk about other societies and their approach to the conflict so often demanded by the Western leaders. Slide 5, please. We collaborate, as women do, with other organizations wherever we find common ground. We do not compete. Always we know we are stronger together. With the IWA and Resist NATO, with UNAC, the IPV, and many other activist organizations, We draw on the strengths of others. We make friends and alliances, and together we magnify our message. One meets NATO head on every year, and our goal is to abolish it. NATO cannot be reconciled with our principle of taking care of the world and all who are in it. That includes non-humans. That includes the animals we rear to eat. That includes the insects, the birds, and the wild places. War is counterproductive to everything we hold dear. And the principle of taking care of the world is a principle we strive to affirm globally. Slide 6, please. We acknowledge that many women across the world are economically challenged and cannot come to alternative NATO summits. But they can send their faces and their banners and their messages. Every year we make a video collage of hundreds of women who know and understand that NATO is the enemy of peace and stability. Please go to our website and you'll see some of these video collages we've made. We try to bring women in from all parts of the world. It is not their fault they are economically challenged. And we do everything we can to make amends and give them a voice. At Guan, we have picked our struggle. We are focused. We are global women united for peace against NATO. Without the warmongering of NATO, the insupportable expenditure on weapons, the nuclear armaments, and the increasing militarization of our societies, the world will be a better and a far safer place. Abolishing NATO won't solve all our troubles, but it will be a fine start. Please do join us. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'll hand you back to our hosts.